the 12th of January. I keep thinking it is December for some reason. So look, guys, I hope we're all doing extremely well after yesterday. The day after, the night before. Nothing ever improves with this club. It is a trying time. But look, there is an update. I really don't care this morning. We will get into it. So look, I want to know this morning about, do you think Carrick is going to get the job? And I'll do a brief bit on Carrick. I don't care. I really, really don't care this morning. The Carrick interim stuff, who gives a shit? Again, I've heard and I've seen people talking about the Carrick stuff. And look, this is not me like having a pop at anybody, but all I'm hearing is, Carrick, maybe he'll come in, maybe he'll get this team to pass. Maybe these players. Well, why aren't these players passing already? But look, we will get on to that already. First thing to say is, look, get into this amazing community. You guys are also fantastic. Thank you for all the support. This channel gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Be respectful to the community. Be respectful to the moderators. Be respectful to yourselves. Be respectful to me. Otherwise, the ban hammer comes out. Scotty's in the chat. He has missed the ban hammer. I'm not too far behind it as well. But look, we don't mind banter. It's just all about respect. Second of all, I'm not a dictator of this chat. I really do read out your comments. That's why these shows take so long. Last night's show was two hours long, because basically, messages wise, we had 800 messages, and I do try to read through them all as much as I possibly can. So get into this channel and get into your opinions, and we will read all that good stuff out. Gus says, would he do better than Rude or Ole? That is the question. And look, Scott, we will get into that question, because I do have my opinions on that as well. Spoiler alert, I think it's a bit like saying, do you want to step in dog shit or do you want to step in cat shit? I mean, it's both shit. Brown Light Legend says, what did I miss? Legendary, my friend. One of my best, that is one of the best messages, one of the best intros. Fantastic. So look, we will get on to, I'm going to quickly go over the Carrick stuff, because I think there is a deeper conversation that we need to be having today. One of the things that I did see today is, look, I get sent stuff all of the time. I'll tell you what I got sent last night and this morning. After I got off of the show last night, I got sent a message last night. I could have jumped back on again going, blah, 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 blah. The reason why I didn't come on last night is because I really don't care. I could have jumped on this morning and given an update live and said, look, overnight things have changed. I get told stuff. I've been told stuff for the whole of this week that Solskjaer is looking like the man. That gap has got shorter and shorter and shorter. Ole was interviewed again. Carrick came back into the frame, and last night basically was the tipping point. The headline that I did have, it was slightly different, but look, there are 10 million reasons why Ole hasn't been picked. They know it is an absolute shit show mess. But one of the things that has come out this week from TalkSport, from all sorts of people, is that ultimately Ole got fired and got paid 10 million quid. 10 million quid to leave. This is all about limitation. This is all about limitation of the damage. So look, I trust the source. He's been right on everything so far. He keeps feeding me little bits of information. And basically, look, I was told last night that things have changed. I've just got a message. Things have flipped round. And basically, the deciding factor on it was the fact that we paid Ole 10 million quid. But do you know what? Never mind. We interviewed him anyway. So That's what we're saying. So one of the things I want to know, and look, I will get into it. Nikarutsu, legend of the chat as well, Luke Floyd, mate. I'll come on to that as well, my friend. Kim Kev says, "Aren't you too old to be online?" That's your view. You're gonna be ageist. Like how old do you have to be, Kim? I mean, honestly, what an absolute fucking idiot. In case anyone cares, I'm 42 years old. In case anybody cares, but look, with age comes wisdom. So do people like Kim want a bunch of children who are 21, talking about something that they don't know anything about? There you go. Thanks, Luke. No, I'm 42, mate. But look, I'll be 43 this year. So you're quite close, Luke. So thanks, buddy. Look, I'm not sensitive about the age at all. Once you get over 40, you don't care anymore. That's life. So let's get into it. I will get on this as well. Who believes talk shit? Good morning, JB, Nick, which is a legend. When we mention Amrin now, is that Amrin didn't do anything wrong, but before Outers was saying it's all Amrin system, youth and free Kobe. We said it won't change, but they thought it would. Sully, exactly it, my friend. Exactly it. Ollie in, Ollie out, Ollie's at the wheel. Carrick's in, he's out. We were told, Sully, on here that this community, I've been, you've been pretty staunch on this, that it is not the coach, it is not the tactics, it is the Glazers, Ineos, Sir Jim. And look, I know it's boring. I'm going to keep on talking about it because it's boring. It is not, but then free Kobe Mainu. Let's go to a back four, and we've seen it for the last two games. And yesterday was shit. Every performance, just this team will surprise you and not surprise you, right? This team will surprise you just when you think it can't get any worse, just when you think that we have gone as low as we possibly can, and just when you think that can this get worse, that it's not going to get worse, this team will surprise you. And look, it doesn't surprise me anymore, but it does still surprise me how bad these guys can be. That even still surprises me. Luke said the Glazers are destroyed my life. 11th this season. Call it now. Look, Gun, I've said this season we finish somewhere between 8th and 10th. Do you know what, Gun? I might even be wrong. And we might finish bloody 12th. John Queen says, look what Andrew is doing at Brentford, tip for relegation, and currently 5th in the league. We had Amrin and 500 million. Man United is the graveyard club. Scott says top 6, and we're still shit. I'm 44 in July. Look, age is just a number. Nick says JB is a handsome 42-year-old. Look, Nikarutsu, my friend, you are far too kind to me. But look, I appreciate it. Why not have Carrick, Fletcher, and Ollie all together? Because Jacob, that would be a frigging disaster, mate. That would be a frigging disaster. Oh, it says, do you sleep? You're always live. I try to mix it in. I still work. I still do this. We are the best channel. We are. I'd love to be keen, says Luke. Thought you saw, said Ollie. Look, Aaron Kelly. Look, what? I will give you that again, right? So look, I've been getting messages the whole of this week, right? Ollie was the guy. The whole of this week, Ollie has been the guy. This has literally changed overnight. Look, people can feed you stuff, and my guy has been spectacularly right, by the way. He was right on. He's been right on the transfer so far. He's been right. He literally, I literally, after the Leeds game or whenever it was, I literally broke it on here. No one else said it, that Amrin was going to get sacked and Fletcher was going to come in. Spot on. This week, Aaron, Solskjaer has been the guy. Make no bones about this. Solskjaer has been the guy this week. But what has happened this week? What has happened? They follow the social media, right? And you've got egos, so it flits between 1 hour to the next. But the deciding factor this week overnight has been the fact that Ole got paid to leave. That the deciding factor are two things on this. One, egos. I'm not going to lie, I don't know whose ego has won out here, but there were multiple. So basically, think about it as you're trying to get into like the government, right? You need people's votes, right? This is about ego, and I know it's all about ego, but I don't know whose ego has won. But mark my words, make no doubt about this. Ole was the guy. Ole was the guy. But what's happened is that they've realised that they paid him £10 million to leave, and what this club. It doesn't matter, by the way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's Ole, Carrick, Rude. We've lost, right? But just because you've asked the question, it literally changed overnight. Yesterday was Ole. Yesterday it was Ole. It could still be Ole, by the way. Just because the reports have come out now, and look, I'll come on to it as well. Fabrizio Romano doesn't mean to say that Carrick is 100%. But look, as of now, it looks like it is. But look, my source has been spot on. Look, it was Solskjaer until yesterday, when basically United can't have any more optics on it. They can't have. Look, imagine this, right? Imagine not only have you lost in the FA Cup and you were awful, but then imagine announcing a coach that you paid off. Not going to happen. So look, things change, and I'm not afraid to come on here and say, look, my person's right, has been right, but on this occasion, in the end, things change. But look, it doesn't mean to say that my person hasn't been right. He's been spot on so far. So look, things change. People in life, things change. And whether I like it or not, not everybody knows every single thing. So look, I'm still until Carrick is formally announced. But again, I don't give a shit. Let's see what happens. Morning, Danny. Dave the Red says hi. Hello, 10th. I'm thinking now. Second Amrin after Europa League or end of contract was fine, but in January without a plan was suicide. I do agree with you. Gon says, what's going on regarding transfers? The manager situation is clouding it. And Gon, this is what they want to happen, my friend. This is what the Glazers want to happen. Look, I've finished now talking about Ole. Look, it doesn't matter. Carrick, Ole, Rude, Sam Allardyce, Steve Bruce, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The thing about this that I find embarrassing is the fact that, and I'm not calling you guys out here, I'm just saying, is that they've got this fan base spun so much that people give a shit about the interim race, right? I basically reported it on here only because I got told stuff, and I've got to tell you guys, right? But why do we give a shit about the interim? And I get it. We're all looking for news. We're all looking for a positive spin. But this is not positive. This is not a positive spin. United are literally trying to make anything a positive. They're spinning a rhetoric and a positivity about the interim manager. I mean, what have we become? It's not even a manager. Like Chelsea, whatever you think about their coach, they went out and they got a coach. Forest, Postecoglou, big pile of crap, right? But they went and got him. We're like, oh, like how can we spin a positive? Because they've written off the season. I mean, it's embarrassing. But look, it looks like things have changed overnight. I did get messages last night to basically say it looks like it shifted. I really couldn't be bothered to come on this morning because I was just like, I don't care. I really don't care. But look, give me your opinions. Just because I don't care, give me your opinions on Carrick. Do you think Carrick? And again, I'm going to go in there proviso. I've not had anything new. So look, as of this point, what will be will be. There's no more information that I've got on it. Basically, United have locked it down now. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm assuming at this point is Carrick, but I'm going to say this: still watch Ole, but it looks like Carrick is going to be the guy, and expect that to be announced really soon. Gone to what's going on. So what's going on with the transfer? So look, I've been saying this since November time, and again, so I've been saying this, and some of the things I say, I could take credit for it and go, aren't I brilliant? I know stuff. Aren't I fantastic? My brain's massive. It's not, right? I give you guys credit on here, and I have to give people credit behind the scenes, right? I've been told for the longest time a couple of things, right? Is that if Xerxes goes, if Amenu goes, then there will be a consideration to get some people in, right? I've been consistently told, and I've been consistent on here with this, we will not do any signings in this window unless there's a Gallagher on loan or some sort of loan deal. Or unless there are fucking protests out of the year, then they'll do something. This is what I've been told. And I can only tell you what I've been told. This is what I've been adamant. This is why I've refused to get into the Semenyo debate. I've refused to get into the Anderson, Baleba stuff. The last couple of weeks, I've completely pulled back from the transfer talk because I am not buying into the rhetoric shit. This is what I've been told. So look, if this channel, you guys have said it as well, if this channel is right, it means that we've lost. I hate. Look, I would absolutely. If I was to give you my own opinion on what I think the transfer situation is, my opinion would be there is no money. Look, don't get me wrong, the Semenyo money is there. It's not really. I don't believe the money's there. I personally would have said I believe we would have done at least one signing, and when I mean that, I don't mean a top tier. I would have thought we would have gone for a Neves. I think we would have gone for a Gallagher. But my blanket position wouldn't have been we're not going to do any business, because I think that we should do business. But look, this is what I've been told, and I've been saying this since I think the back end of October, and that's not because I'm great. Look, if this is true and we make one loan signing or some sort of bid for a token signing, I don't want to be right. I don't want. Look, I would love to be proved wrong. If this club came out and went and signed and Anderson, Baleba, whatever else, feel free to come back at me and say your source is shit. You're just a bag of shit. Brilliant, because it means that I'm wrong, my source is wrong, and you guys are right. It's frustrating. So look, I would say this on transfers. Forget it. We might do a Neves. I don't think we will. A Gallagher on loan. Aston Villa are looking at him as well. Don't expect any business. Did you watch yesterday's Classico? Anyone in particular that impressed you? No, I don't watch it, mate. Are we still in recruitment? Keep up the good work, says Luke. Thanks, buddy. Don't worry, be happy. Always United will never die. Exactly. As a grown old is a mandatory thing, and growing up is optional. I agree with you. What was the score in the El Clasico? I don't know. Fletcher in 2 games has made Amrin look like prime Zidane. How many people have done the petition? Well, so as it stands, look, I needed 5 people to get it through. So at the moment, it's going through the petition may not even make it through, right? But you need 5 people to get this petition through. And then if it's okayed, then I'll put out the link again. But at present, it's being pushed through and looked at as if it's a viable petition. So I will keep you updated. Dominican says, Ollie needs to come to Chelsea. Please take Frank from us. No, thank you, mate. Ollie never go to Chelsea. The saying this morning that Ollie wanted the job after interim. He wanted to be boss. Going to be Carrick, like I said last night. Yeah, it's the one thing. The one thing to understand about this club that will never let you down is not only are the playing squads so inconsistent and you don't know what you're going to get. The fact, and these are facts this week, right? These are facts this week, right? It has been Ollie this week. It has been Carrick this week. It has been Rude this week. The reason for that fluctuation is because nobody's got a clue. There is no plan. They're doing this on the fly. Any words from Radcliffe, Ineos, Wilcox, anybody? No, nothing at all. Nothing at all. Absolutely zero at all. Because Jason Wilcox, the manager behind the scenes, and I'm going to keep on continuing this, by the way. Wilcox, the manager behind the scenes. Where was he last night? Where was that cretin last night? Where was the manager last night behind the scenes? Where was this coach? This coach. He'd rather let Fletcher do the dirty work than front up. Behind the scenes, he's Mr. Willie Wilcox, the fucking big massive bollocks. What an absolute cretin. And he's been allowed, he's been empowered. The guy's been empowered behind the scenes to walk around like he's got the biggest knob in the world, walking around, swinging those big old balls. Just what an absolute waster. Omar Barada. I mean, I haven't given him as much stick. I mean, these people are supposed to be the best in class, right? Did we have an apology from any of them? And look, people have come on here and said, they don't talk. The CEO, COO, the director of football are not the ones to do the talking. Why not? The Bundesliga, they do. Why don't these guys come and talk for the club here? They're perfectly happy to do a United fan TV. They're perfectly happy to take all the positive press. Perfectly happy for Rio to come out and start going, oh, Wilcox is such a lovely guy. Wilcox is a legend. He's a straight guy. He's honest. I trust his vision in this club. Like, these guys are more than happily to cover themselves in fucking glory, right? But when the chips are down and this team is shit and their vision doesn't work, why aren't they coming out? And look, whether or not they do or they don't, my question is, why don't they? Just because you don't do something, this is what pisses me off about this country, right? Or pisses me off about fans, not us guys in here. It's always, well, Wilcox doesn't come out. There's no other director of football that doesn't come out. So, it's not something that they do. So, they shouldn't really do it. Why not? Why not? Just because other clubs don't do it, just because it's not something that we do, why aren't we doing it? Like the excuse of we don't do it doesn't wash anymore. Just because we don't do it, why don't we set the precedent? Why doesn't Wilcox come out and talk? Because he's got no backbone. Because he's enabled by these Glazers and Sir Jim, who are literally destroying this club as we talk. We spoke about this, look, and we will come on to the game as well. I'll go through this as well, but I just want to come on to the game as well, because it was disgusting last night. Jacob says, at least now we have Mbeumo Ahmad back for the United derby. Look, Jacob, my friend, thank you for the comment. What does it do for the derby, mate? Look, are we seriously suggesting, Jacob? And look, mate, I'm not calling your opinion out, by the way. You've just sparked a view and a debate, right? Are we seriously suggesting, given everything that's happened in this club, how bad the core of this team is, that Ahmad and Mbeumo are back and we've got a chance against a City? So basically, also, what happens if we win? So if we go to, or if City come to us, if City come to us and we beat them, does that mean we're back? What is that? Oh, so basically, and again, I'm not calling this out. I'm just giving my opinion. If we beat City, right, is everything forgiven? If we beat City, is this club fixed? If we beat City, are we back? Carragher's at the wheel. Like, is everything forgotten? Mbeumo, Ahmad are back. Who gives a fuck? Like, what are they going to do? Like, this is the thing where people need to stop getting caught up into a trap. It literally is like, it's like going through the same things again. Like, there's hope, and I think as somebody said last night on here, and they're spot on. It is the hope that kills you. Mbeumo, Ahmad's back. They were here before and we were still dog shit. Like, what? I don't get it. And let's just say, by some fluke, by some luck, by some amazing turn of events, that we actually beat them. What does that mean? Does that mean the team is forgiven? Does it mean that all is forgiven? You might have sacked the manager, but do you know what? Forgiven. Forgive and forget. No. Wilcox can't say anything, Jim. F, the Glazer, says Kingsman. Even though I might be wrong, says David Red. Carrick would at least give us some different. Last night was proof we don't have the team to play Ollie's counter-attack and football. Lacey, the only one who would fit Europa League, is a must. Look, Barry Morgan, my friend, thank you for the comment, buddy. Look, I love people who think in a different way to me, right? I love the different comments, Barry. The only thing I'm going to say is this, right? I'm not calling the opinion out. We're just talking, right? I hope you're right. I do, right? But mate, we've had Jose, Ollie, Carrick, McKenna. I forget Eric Ten Hag. What is Carrick going to do? Like, this is my question, right? Nobody else can get a tune out of these players. right? What is Carrick going to say to these players? These are top level, top quality professional players who are earning 300k a week, 100k a week, right? Darren Fletcher is the under 18s coach, basically giving them advice on how to pass and what to do to play through the lines. What is Carrick going to do? What is a championship coach who got sacked? What is he going to do with these players? And Barry, what we saw last night was these players. It is not the management. Look, it's Billy basic football last night. All right. But what is Carrick going to do? This is why I don't care. Barry, this is why I hope you're right, and Carrick will get my support, right? I just don't understand what Carrick is going to do that no other coach has been able to do. And by the way, Carrick has got worse players. What is Carrick going to do? Carrick is going to play counter-attacking football. There's nothing else he can play. Amorim tried to play a back three to basically get control. Carrick is not suddenly going to inherit a world-class striker. Carrick is not suddenly going to inherit a midfield. Mainu played yesterday. Free Mainu, right? Fernandez was back at 10, but there's always an excuse. Fernandez was injured. Fernandez wasn't really, Mason Mount played. Mason Mount's injured. He's not great. This is his team. What is Carrick going to do? And look, this is a genuine question, Barry. I'm not calling your opinion out. This is my genuine question. What is Carrick going to do? And again, the first bit of that statement is at least Carrick will give us something else. Amorim did that as well. Amorim gave us something new. Ole gave us something new. Rangnick gave us something new. What is Carrick going to give us that's brand new? Every time we change a coach, it's brand new. Fletcher was going to give us something new. What is this new thing that these managers are going to do? Anyone is better than Amorim for United. A team as low at the moment, says Martin. The board sacking Amorim shows that Radcliffe don't care about a score. He cares about the money. There was F4 wrong with Amorim, and you don't get the players he wanted. He can't perform the plan. You all said Amorim would win you the league. Now look at you, Alfie. No, we didn't. Alfie, mate, we didn't. If you've watched this channel for the longest time, I've predicted on here that we'll finish between 8th and 10th the whole season. I have shot down. I have criticised the biggest channel for even saying that we're going to get into the top 4, Alfie. It's all out there. I don't care. It's all out there. I've criticised the biggest channel out there for even mentioning a top 4 race, even mentioning a title race. This channel, if Alfie, if you want clickbait bollocks, there are other channels, right? And again, I don't mind mentioning them now, right? Because this morning I got sent a clip. I always get sent clips. I got sent a clip this morning by one of you guys from the show this morning, and basically Arthur Goldbridge was on there saying that and this the reason why this clip was sent to me was basically under the proviso that he was complaining and moaning about how no other channels, and again he's calling that channel, so I'm going to call him out back, right? Basically saying that no other channels are talking about the Glazers, no other channels are calling them out, no other channels are calling Wilcox out. His channel is the only one that talks about it. His channel is the total bollocks, total and utter bollocks. I mean, look, this channel is not massively huge, right? But we're a decent size. We're now one of the bigger channels. We're not massive, but we are one of the bigger ones now. That's all we talk about. It's all we talk about on here. And look, I'm not trying to placate fucking Goldbridge, right? But you've even got channels like that who are now pontificating to the smaller channels how they are the only channel that talk about this. They were the fucking channel that allowed their people to talk about a top 4 race. Goldbridge was allowing his members of staff to talk about a title race. And then I get sent this morning about how no one else on the platform, no other channels, and that's what he said, are, they are calling us all pathetic, calling us all out from his fucking high tower, when that prick basically lets his child gang, because he's fucking Fagin, start talking about a top 4 race, allow them to talk about a title race. This channel, and there were plenty of other channels as well, by the way, that have been calling this stuff out for weeks. When those twats were talking about Semenyo was coming, been talking about Baleba coming, and Anderson coming, putting their fucking click shit fucking out there, we are one of the most consistent ones out there. You guys are consistent. We are consistent. And look, the only reason I'm bringing it in is because now you've got channels like that who themselves could be starting something. They've not mentioned the protests, right? Something really, really important and pivotal to me, and the 1958 group should be respected. The protests are important, right? No other channel from what I can see has mentioned it. I'm not calling them out because you've got to do what you've got to do. But you've got fucking Mark Goldbridge, right, saying that no other channels, you're all pathetic. When you've got the biggest clickbait wanker out there, he could be promoting the protests. He could be bringing the channels together. If that guy is the fucking head of the mafia, bring other people together. But you don't. You'd rather sit there, moan about everybody else when you're putting out your clickbait shit about fucking transfers. You're putting your shit out there about top 4 races. But yet this morning you want to call out the fucking channels. Like, what an absolute twat. We need some transfer ASAP. We need proper defenders. Jacob says, if we want glory, we don't need better player, nor we just need some better owners. Anyone we get for the facade interim crap is the BS Carrick gave in the midfield instead of the manager. Carrick apparently at this rate, it's better to have a caretaker till the end of the season. Let the new guy. Many messages. Let the new guy have their own signings and pre-season. Nathan, mate, it is not happening. It is not going to happen, my friend. It's just not going to happen. Following from Nairobi, Kenya, keep up the content. Thanks, buddy. Carrick is, yes, he is. Carrick is underrated. You absolute melt. Dino's in the house. Dino is a legend. Honestly, don't care who the manager is. The players are trash. The hierarchy wants a puppet and not a manager. I do agree with you. Ratcliffe should apologise to the fans publicly and then resign and piss off permanently. Look, John, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree. And we will get onto the game as well because it's disgusting. Can we stop rewriting history? Amrin was awful. Fletcher was no better or worse. Amrin doesn't win either of those games. The only difference is Fletcher should be shot. He's got experience. Look, Barry, again, my friend, respect the opinion. I disagree. Amrin didn't have his players. And that is not a look, that is gonna be a defining talking point, right, Barry? I respect your opinion on it. And there are many people on here. Mark Harris has been on the channel forever, and his opinion was that Amrin was crap. My opinion has always been he didn't have his players. Semenyo already balling at City. Neville is a rat, says the beefcake. I do agree. The ex-players are also part of the problem. If you've watched the channel before, the ex-players are part of the problem as well. Our club is going down alongside the piss poor Chelsea. Embarrassing. The transfers are not going to happen unless loans. We're doomed. I love United, but we'll never die. We don't get knowing JB. I think with United, the name doesn't matter because you're pretty much criticised before the ball's even kicked. Who in the right mind would want to be a coach of this club? Someone who can fix it. Until and unless the owners are gone, nobody can fix it. I hate some of these ex-players. Glazer won me over. Glasner won me over after Macclesfield. Incredibly refreshing to hear a manager say his team was shit and John take a coach or system to win that match. And with post Grimsby just sucked. Barry, again, mate, and again, we see things in a different way. Glasner for me is a no. There are things in life that happen, and there can be one singular thing that can happen. I respect the fact that Glasner said his team was shit. No problem at all. But that's Glasner's team, right? Losing to Grimsby is fucking bad enough. But Glasner presided over the worst, and this is the worst FA Cup giant killing in the history of the competition. Macclesfield were 14th in National League North, or where, right? I don't care. I'm sorry. I do not want a manager who cannot even inspire a team to beat a team of fucking part-timers. Barry, mate, I again respect the opinion, my friend, but in my view, there are some things that happen in life that you do. You can be doing something amazingly, fantastically well, and all it takes is one little incident to happen. Glasner for me, not for me. We've had a board run by thieves and their onwards ego, and they are egomaniacs. Then it comes to the team. The first team players that couldn't care less if they lost their spot to a reserve or young player. Open heart surgery, John. Rannick was spot on. He didn't even take the job as technical advisor. He was right about the whole club due to the Glazers. Completely agree with you. We can beat off City and we can beat Arsenal. We get beat off City and we beat Arsenal. Look, a win is a win, right? The problem that I've got with these next two games is, what does it tell us? So if Carrick goes and beats, look, if Carrick goes and beats City and Arsenal, takes us on a run, and by some fucking miracle we get into the top 6, 7, fucking miracle, right? Then he's done a fantastic job. But I do not want to get into a lull whereby they give Carrick the job. Carrick is not the guy. If we make the same mistake again by putting Carrick in charge, Carrick is a caretaker. He is not for me. If we don't if we decide Carrick is the man, because let's just say if Carrick goes and wins the next 8, it's gonna be a disaster. 5 years just for the laugh. Progress takes time when you're up against established teams. No, we get beat off City and we beat Arsenal. The lit is a miss. 5 years is an eternity in football terms. Not any managers will get that. We were 3 points off top. The league is inconsistent for everyone, and people saying he only used to win 1 or 2 games a month. Only Villa and Arsenal are regular. Owners out the board is an effing disgrace. Klopp came in halfway through the season and got to a cup final. He had good players, though. He did. Neville is a snake. I do agree with you. Top quality is a bit of a stretch. The season is going 2 ways. We get champs, or we don't. We got a new manager in the summer. Winter comes in. Are we in the same position? The board needs to go. I never believed that we were getting Champions League. Look, I apologise. I never believed it. I always thought that we finished. The problem is this, right? And I would probably class myself as some of the problem, right? And here's why I would call myself a problem is this, right? I believe every single season we finish, we should be winning the league, right? We should be getting into the Champions League, right? Not because I think we automatically should be there. It is not a divine right. I'm not stupid enough to think that we will, but we have to set standards. We have to set the standards, right? But I also know where this club is. The reason why I set the standards is because you have to have accountability. You have to have accountability for this club. So the fact that we're finishing, I predict 8th and 10th. The reason why you have to have that accountability there is because 8th and 10th isn't good enough. It's not good enough. I don't accept that this is a middle table team. It is. That is what we are. But I don't accept it. I don't accept where we can finish between 5th and 6th. If we can be in a top 4 race, if we can be in a top 6 race, let's see at Christmas. Like, what have we become? The Glazers want this. The Glazers want us to be in the middle of the road. They want us to be between 5th and 8th. They want us to be in the Europa League because they don't care. All they see is as long as we make enough money, that's all they care about. They'd love to be into the Champions League. Of course they would do. But as long as we get in them home games in, they couldn't give a shit. And when you notice and you listen to them talk, they talk about going into European competition. They're not talking about Champions League. They're talking about Europe. In fact, Conference League would probably be better. Because they'll make as much money from home games. What United would absolutely love is they would love to start in basically round 1 and go home and away, and basically have as many games. United want a 60-game season. United want a 65-game season because the more games they have, the more money they got. The Beefcake says, whereabouts in the UK are you from, mate? I'm from Essex. I'm from the south of England, the southeast. The same team got the cup final, so they couldn't have been that bad. Brighton embarrassed us. Champions League football looks unrealistic. A manager never gets credit when he gets a tune out of certain players. United need a big clear out on new in, but they won't. The board won't let it happen. Who's going to want to come to us? Evan says, hi. I love you and United, but what you do feel to be. Hey, I love you and United, but what do you feel about Ole being at the wheel again? I mean, fans were literally taking the piss out of him because he was so shit last time. But he's back in. Look, as far as I'm aware, he's Ole. Look, Ole was favourite. Again, information. Ole literally was the favourite. This week he's been going shorter and shorter and shorter. Ole was the favourite. Overnight it's changed. Overnight it has changed. It looks like Carrick. But look, and I mean this in the most respectful way, and this is not about you, right? I don't care. I don't want Ole back. I don't want him back. How can you fire a guy that you sacked for 10 million and bring him back? Look, Ole is not the future. So fans were calling for him, Ole at the wheel. I don't want him back. It doesn't. I really don't care. It means Ole, Carrick, Ruud, getting whoever you want is not going to make a difference. So I do agree with you. I think people who are screaming for Ole in were probably the same people screaming for him out as well. Carrick will set up a 4-4-2 flat and play on the counter. Fernandes doesn't get into any top 6 midfields. I do agree. Hobie says, how JB on my lunch break at work? United suck. I don't disagree with you, buddy. We have been absolutely dreadful, absolutely awful. Clear out all the time. The squad cost hundreds of billions to put together. It's a clear out. You need a manager that can manage. Tuck says, how on earth did United fall so hard? United was once upon a time one of the dominant teams with the most expensive players, mate. It's really easy. It's really easy to tell you. I can sum it up in one word. Glazers. Kieran says, United are such a poor team, even more so a poor club. Who would want the job? Bruno overrated, simple as, needs new players and a captain. Mark Goldbridge, Pratt stand. Mate, I just today it pissed me off. Right, I don't normally rise to it. I don't normally care about it. The clip that I got sent, when you're sat there calling out other channels that basically do these things that you're calling them out for, you can fuck off. United pay over the odds for transfers, sacked the manager at the wrong time. They are effed. Casemiro, Delo, Luke Shaw, Ugarte, Bruno needs to go. If I was the manager, first thing I'd strip Bruno off the captaincy and give it to De Ligt or Lamens. Yes. Given a keeper a captain. No channels that he knows. What has De Ligt or Lamens done to get the armband? Lamens is very questionable. Sack the board. Prattman is captain. Ruben is a useless manager. Ineos out. Lamens isn't that bad. He's made one obvious mistake. United are dirt, says Real Scally. Thanks, mate. John, where can I find your song? I'm curious to hear it. My song? Oh, bloody hell. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Bloody hell. Jesus. So you've put me on the spot there. Yes, I basically work with I work with people, right? And basically I got asked to do like a song. Oh God. Let me find it. And I'll put it into the chat. Because I do have another channel, by the way. Yeah. Let me find it. It's basically something that we did for a charity, and let me find it for you. Bloody hell. I mean, look, the song is not great. But look, we try to do it for a charity, and I will stick it into the chat. Let me find it. I will find it. Where is it? Look, don't be too yeah. Let me find it. Oh, where is it? All I'm going to say is don't get too excited about it. It's not great. Where is it? Bloody hell. I can't find it now. I will put it into okay. Where is it? It's there, but okay. I'll put right. Bloody hell! You've caught me on the hop now. Where is it? No, nobody wants to see that shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, we'll go back to the football in a second, by the way. Oh, where is it? Right. Do that. Okay. It's on Spotify, by the way. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so this is... What is it? No, that's not it either. I'm going to have to find it, guys. It is on Spotify. Look, I promise. Look, I will find it, and then we will carry on the show. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to find it. I will find it as well. So look, guys. Look, what the next thing I wanted to talk about. So get into the chat. Look, yesterday's game. You know. I can't remember what. Here we go. Right. I can't even bloody find it now. Here we go. Right. I will get back to it. Right. Okay. Right. I found it, I think. Jesus Christ. I am nearly there. Promise you. Okay. Right. Here we go. Is that it? There you go. I've put it into the link. Look, don't get excited about it. It's just something that we did for charity. Yeah. Fucking garbage. He uses bots. That's why he has 27 plus in his lives and only like 1K in his live chat. Well, I just take exception, right? You know, look, I just take exception to when you've got somebody who's calling out other channels when his content is dog shit. Bugs the shit out of me. We are more professional. I do agree with you. Garbage channel is a joke. No wonder FUTV was set up. Yeah. Professionals. No one can blame Lamans. I do agree with you. Just a reminder, no spamming in the chat. Who would you want to take job as this head coach? Is the mess? Look, the Rebel 16. The problem is, unless that there are two things here for me. Unless the Glazers go and Ineos go, which they won't, you need a manager that's going to be able to come in and basically and look after these players. So for me, it'd have to be Emery or Howe. If you're asking me any manager in the world, probably Enrique. But it has to be somebody who's going to have to work with this pile of shit. James says, unless the owners leave it, nothing will change. James Roberts, I do agree with you. It's a team sport. You can't blame one player unless they make a massive F up. They only bought Amrin for outfield players. Three of them attackers. Midfield was neglected. And this fan base needs to stop comparing the manager to Fergie, the new players to Lux, Rooney and Ronaldo and Giggs. And Scott, I agree with you. We need to have the new Rooney. We need to what needs to happen is we basically need a situation whereby we create the new Rooney. So let's just say his name is I don't know, Sharp, Billy Sharp. You create the new player that the next player wants to be the Billy Sharp. The next player becomes a legend in their own right. James says one of Shesko, Mbeumo or Cunha should not have been signed and should have got a midfielder. For me right now, we needed a striker. In the summer, I wanted the Villa striker. I wanted a more experienced. I wanted the Villa striker. And also, I think Mbeumo or Cunha shouldn't have been signed. I think when you've got Bruno Fernandes there, Cunha would probably be the one you wouldn't sign. And we probably did need a... John, honest response, who do you think is going to be the next manager realistically attainable? I think it's going to be Glazer, Irola, Carrick. Carrick, Irola, Glazer, Tuchel. I think those four. We have to strive to get top 4 2 or 3 seasons in a row, not Premier Leagues or the Champions League. Unfortunately, we are not that club anymore. We need to as a club. And Sully, I agree with you. We shouldn't have to accept it, right? There's an acceptance. There's a difference between having standards, which I have, and acceptance. My standards are high, but I fully accept that we need to strive for consistency first. What we got is for laugh. Top 4 is getting harder and harder. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. We are basically always top 4. That leaves one other spot. Even if somehow we beat City and Arsenal, we are still far back. If we have more confidence, the poor guy gets his haircut. We win 5 wins in a row. Who's people's opinion on this? Let's get Pochettino after the World Cup. Pochettino for me is a yes man. I think he's the ultimate yes man. So it could be Pochettino. Is it something that I'd like? I'm going to say no, but Rob says you have to look at the level of players we have. The players aren't good enough to be in the Champions League. We would just get embarrassed. I do agree with you on that one. James Roberts says the Glazers are a joke, taking more money out of the club than Pep has spent at City. Look what we're saying. Poch isn't the guy for me. He'll just end up getting hounded out. James says, James Roberts, whoever the manager is, they'll get hounded out. The Glazers are destroying the club. Don't bring back Ole. I don't think he's coming back now, mate, to be honest with you. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had his time. They treated him badly. Why consider the job? Kevin says, nil or draw again. Love this high-scoring game. Need a manager who can work some miracles. Fans need to stop going to Old Trafford. The answer to the game: make the goals 500 mil wider, more goals, more excitement. Rebels. Mark Stewart says, if Carrick is the manager, what backroom staff will he bring in? We need a defensive coach because we're terrible at the back. But he's gonna have to basically work with what he's got, really. Ken Bishop says, make the goals 2 meters wider and have 2 goalkeepers. Lots of fun. They'll crash into each other. JB wasn't in Spando Ballet. Well, no. The 90s United was scary. If you came back with a point against them, you felt like a win. Have Tottenham and West Ham won much? Aston Villa, Everton have a better record than Spurs. Eddie says United. If only we as fans could sack the board. Damn, I can't. JB was in a death metal band called Cannibal Corpse. Mate, look, don't expect too much. That's all I'm saying. Is don't expect. Look, it was a charity song. Yeah, just don't expect too much. I need to get up from that deep sleep. Once was a killer team. Now with jokes, just play a 4-4-2. Put the under 20s. They will do a good job. Ineos have ruined United, Nice, Lausanne, Mercedes, the sailing team, cycling team, and the All Blacks. Very, very, very good point. How many fans are aware the bank dictates what United spends and not Ineos and the Glazers? Well, look, well, they do because the credit facility is there. James, I think that is a very, very good point. But my only caveat to that is the reason why the bank dictates is because the Glazers have put us in that position. You know, sorry for putting you on the spot. It wasn't my mention, look, mate. Doesn't matter, mate. Doesn't matter. It's all good. Another great day at Old Trafford. At least we don't have the distraction of another cup run, says Flabber Jabber. Glazers off watching cricket while we crash and burn. Yes, yesterday's game was so poor. The Saudi Kings want to buy United. Sell the team. Maybe we can get the money to buy super players. Damn right. Now we shit yesterday game and we was like a first division team. I wish we were. The only hope we've got is a sale. This is like Delo trying to find who he's marking. I love it. I think Kobe did well, moved the ball well into midfield. I felt really bad for Lacey yesterday. Seeing a young lad go off in tears is brutal. The ref could have just had a word with him for his first cut. The referee yesterday can go F himself, can't he? Look, Lacey should have no tears. Lacey yesterday, there should be no tears from him because I tell you what, 27 minutes, I saw more pace, power, passion, the whole lot from him than I saw from any of these dogshit players. So Lacey, for me, look, I know it was a brutal introduction into the FA Cup. That kid has got nothing to feel bad about. The only thing that I would feel if I was him and his parents was pride. Fantastic player. He was my star man yesterday. I'm not talking about like the whole game because you can't do that. But he for me was the star man. Wenger out says Mr. M. I stopped watching Goldbridge. Forest fan profiting from United. Goldbridge is a Goldbridge is a bellend, and Goldbridge is a bellend, but he ain't no Forest fan. Sully, the common issue is I've seen in every game is the players actually have nothing about them. No one is ever on an unplayable form. Never look like we can take on a man or make a pass. It's about being brave, Sully. We've got nobody in that team that is brave. This board sucks, says Hassan. Look at Rashford winning cups with Barcelona. Nah, Rashford is not great. Bobby says, hello, hi JB. Sorry. Oh, yeah, it's Mark, isn't it? Watkins, yes. Watkins, I've got an old brain. The future isn't looking bright, boys. Just on my dinner break, all good. I'm good, mate. Just chilling. Twisted Wheel says, fantastic. As a City fan, watching you lot in crisis. All the years of abuse you gave us, you would leave in droves. And you went down the leagues as we did. Please get Carrick or Arola. Thanks, mate. Look, we don't mind banter. Look, mate, Twisted Wheel, look, banter's banter, right? Absolutely, look, fans are entitled to do that. Look, and I've got no what's the word? I've got no animosity towards the banter, and I'll even admit, we probably used to give you guys shit. But all I'm saying, Twisted Wheel, is look, it's not going to last forever. It's not going to until the 115 is gone. And look, the only thing I'm going to say, look, I'm not digging you out here, but Man City have been shown to be cheating, and I'm not blaming the fans here, by the way. As fans, if anything happens to your club, you guys will feel the brunt of it. You fans can't take the blame for your owners who have cheated. They've been found. It's about what you can prove, right? But all I'm saying is, look, just it's easy when you're up top, and the fall back down is really is It's difficult. Kieran says no way top 4. Potts loves not making signings. United sucks. That's a bloke in the non-league who fancies managing. There's a bloke in the non-league who fantasy managing United. United fans never gave City abuse. You get it now because you cheated. I remember at Main Road we used to sit next to each other. It's not happening. Nice, cheeky, and we drop off. I think Neville must be the manager and kick ass or Cantona. Neville couldn't manage his way out of a paper bag, mate. You're 700 million in debt. No, we're not. You're wrong. We are 1.5 billion pounds in debt. So Twisted Will, you're wrong. You need to get your facts right, Twisted Will. Get your facts right. We are not 700 million pounds in debt. I would bite your hand off. We are 1.5 billion pounds in debt. So there you go. Look there. You've got it wrong. You should learn your figures. We're not 700 million. Well, 1.5 million, mate. Cheating. You guys are it. Can't be angry like we've been given a right to win Prems. We are a Europa League team, but we need top 4 in the league to qualify. I do agree. So, JB, where will the club be in a year's time? I think, Dino, in a year's time, the club's going to be in the exact same place. I think the club will be in the exact same place that it is now. I do not see an improvement. Look, unless Ineos, the Glazers, go get a good coach, back in with players, see what happens. We will be in the same place because we'll still have Bruno Fernandes. We'll still have Luke Shaw, Casemiro. Casemiro might even be given a new contract. We're still going to have a Šeško. Look, and I'm not blaming Šeško. What I mean is we're still going to have a singular striker. We're going to be the same team again. As I said, all of us, the fans, should have a game boycott to make them know we are serious. Look, I am up for it. I will happily go to the ground and I will happily film it all. I will film it live. If anybody wants to talk on camera, I will more than happily promote it on this channel. Unlike certain other channels who will sit there and say everyone else's shit, I will actually put it onto the channel and I will actually go and promote this stuff. City would have been, Lacey got done dirty. He showed emotion, but it hurt. He didn't hurt anyone. He shows passion for the badge, the club, and he wants to perform for. Lacey showed passion, something which has been missing for a while. Now the lad needs to keep his end up and move on. We don't pass enough in the final third. Kieran says United will end up as a championship team. Look, if this continues, who knows? Who knows? City didn't appear on the map until 2012. Another sad day for United. It's heartbreaking to see what's happened to the club I've loved for 53 years, says Alex. City were nobody. Do you have connections at United? Look, I know. Look, I speak to somebody. That's why I've look. The Solskjaer thing, look, I've been told certain things. I've literally reported everything that I've been told. Got told about the sacking thing. We basically called it on this channel. We called it. Literally after the game, I got told that Amrin was going to get sacked. Fletcher was going to come in, and I said, watch it the next morning. Look, I get told stuff, and I bring it to you guys. I don't get told loads and loads of stuff, but recently they've been very, very, very good. So City won't be found guilty because they'll pay their way out of it. United, listen, as the football fraternity, aren't asking you to throw the game against City. All we ask is you play football, help us save football. Don't be biting a City fan, JB. Ineos has to be here just for a big cash grab. A lot of people and fan channels can't separate the issues and come to a conclusion. Instead of focusing on one and not stuff that needs changing, we only change the man that takes the blame. 1.29 billion in debt. Exactly. Get it right. It's not 700 million. It's 1.29 billion. Glazers out, Ineos out, pure incompetence from all. Debt is not the main issue. The issue is the income is too low. No, it's not. No, it's not. I disagree with you. We had record income into this club. Look, we had record income into this club. I'm not calling you out, but if you don't think debt is not the problem, everybody has debt. I've got debt. I pay for a house. I pay for a car, right? That debt is a sustainable debt. I get paid money. I'm able to pay the bills and have some money left over, right? United's debt is so bad, they're making a loss. If you can service your debt, which we have done to a tune of £800 million over the last 20 years, the debt is a problem. When servicing that debt, you can no longer break even. So the debt is the problem. And look, you are correct. If you make more money, then the debt isn't a sort of issue. We've made 640 million. It's record income. We'd have to basically go and earn £1 billion. The only way you get anywhere near that is winning the Champions League, getting into the Champions League, getting more sponsors, selling players, right? If we won the treble again, right? If we had 65, 70 like home game, no, if we had 40 home games, we won the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, Champions League, the league, won all that, sold some players, we still wouldn't reach the amount of money that we would need to be able to basically service that debt. But the more money that we make, the more money that the Glazers take. Please stop thinking the debt is not the issue. The debt is the issue. The green and gold till the vultures go. Without player debt, 750 million. The play debt's huge. The player debt is absolutely massive. A lot of people have a go at Gobridge, but he's been very consistent about the full sale. But look, I'm not having a go at him. I don't watch his channel, right? I couldn't give it a shit, right? But from what I got told today, or from what I got sent today, and I don't know if this is from this morning or yesterday, right? When you've got him calling out channels, and he didn't, and he called out every single channel, saying that nobody calls out the Glazers, nobody calls out this channel does, by the way, right? And when I'm seeing clickbait on his channel, and we're talking weeks ago here, when he's allowing his team, and look, it's his name over the door, right? He's hiring children on his channel, and they're talking about a top 4 race and a title charge, right? That is on him. So I don't know the guy. I don't watch his stuff. I get sent clips, right? And when he's sat there, this morning, last night, talking about how no other channel talks about this, when all we do is talk about it. We don't even talk about fucking transfers, right? That has to be called it. So it's okay for him to talk bollocks and say that no other channel does it. We do it better. We do it better than they do. We are probably the most consistent. We are the most consistent. We are the fairest. We are consistent, and we don't. When you've got a channel like that who's calling everyone else out, they go fuck themselves. And he forgets, because he absolves himself of the fact that he lets his children, the children of Goldbridge, present shows in in different football team shirts. He lets them stand out there talking about a top four race, talking about a title charge. I'm really sorry, but Goldbridge has to fucking take it, because he is part of the problem. Glazers must go soon. Good JJB says QWERTY. Goldbridge chat shit. He does chat shit. Hyder B just tuned in for a quick minute whilst at work. I hope you're okay, mate. No change in the performance I see. Thanks, buddy. David Legend. Goldbridge isn't even his real name. Who's to say that United is his real club? I'd like to see Scholes, but Davros, Neville get banned from Old Trafford. Our old guard are poisonous. Yes, they are. Do you think we should have sacked Rubin? I don't like the defensive football he played. No. Augusto, no. I don't think we should. This channel has been supportive. I've been saying all season the same as you guys on here. It is not the manager. It is not the formation. If you wanted to know what the problems were on the pitch, and I'm not talking about the problems off of the pitch, you have to separate out the two. The problem on the pitch are the players. Everything else, which is bigger than the players, is the Glazers and the debt. Champagne, absolute legend, my friend. Finally logged back into this account. Down things are really going like a roller coaster. Champagne legend, my friend. I hope you're doing extremely well. Champagne legend and long-time supporter of the club. They are generating the revenue, surely. They are, but they're spending more. The profit from 2008 to 2011 could have cleared the debt, James. Exactly, but they won't stop doing it. We made a loss. Exactly. We certainly did. So the companies have plenty of debt. You service the debt. How much to pay to service is a figure. You don't want to be too high. If they were in the Champions League and spent wisely, then it won't be an issue. Yes, exactly that. Look, debt is not always a bad thing, right? I'm an accountant by trade, right? Debt is not a bad thing. Debt can be used for good. Like, most people have debt. I've got debt. But at the end of the day, you get an asset, and you can use that asset or use that debt to make some more money. Debt is not a problem. As you say, the problem is when you don't earn revenue to service the debt. But what you've got to realise is we've made the biggest revenue we've ever made. We've got no way to make any more. The problem is that if you max out, so for example, if you go to work and you max out your money that you can earn, but you increase your debt and you try to service the debt and you can't, but at the same time, all you're doing is servicing the debt, you're not paying it off, the debt increases because an interest rate increases every single year as well. So eventually what's going to happen, because the value of your wages, if you're on 60k, let's just say you're on 60k, right? 60k in 2011 is not the same as 60k now. And if you're earning the same amount of money, you're technically earning less, right? We've had record incomes. We still lost money. The problem is, as you say, whilst we're not in the Champions League, the sponsors have gone, the money gets less. We can no longer service that debt. It's not just about the debt servicing, it is about the players' wages. But look, in an ideal world, the solution would be is that you earn more money, but you can't just earn your way out of this. We can't just earn away because there is no facility for us to earn more money. In fact, we're gonna earn less. Let's have a look at what we're saying. We've got a lot. I think he was just being flippant. He can't watch every. I think he was being flippant. He can't watch every channel. I don't care about Goldbridge, mate. I couldn't give a fuck. I don't care if he's being flippant. Look, if you're gonna stand there, look, it's like me, right? If I'm gonna sit here and say every single United channel is a pod of dog shit, right? If I sit here and say that, I'm calling everybody out, right? If I say here and say, actually, do you know what? There are some really, really good channels. Some of the big ones are okay, but the biggest one is shit, right? It took me less than 10 seconds, right? I don't care what he says, right? But when he's calling everybody out, when his channel literally is the biggest clickbait out there, I'm going to come back at it. Look, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what I say. But when somebody of that in that who is pretty much at the top of the tree, looking down on people and calling every other person out, when they're the biggest hypocrites on the platform, and now they're moaning and bitching about, oh, you fucking need to get the Glazers out, when the channel literally weeks ago was talking about a top 4 race. We're literally talking about winning the Premier League. You've got to choose your channels wisely. Sacking Ruben was a mistake. Niche for Hand says, Beth and Moores. I mean, I'm not going to say too much, but I don't mind Beth, but Moores is a fool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know him. Yeah. Let's keep going through this. I think City will kick off after they beat us 7-0. Nick Caruso put himself in the step. You're getting more than the step for that. Pompey had more shots than them and they played pretty strong team, especially because of their track record. The emotions are high. They will crumble under the pressure. I borrow the tripod and see how far that goes. United are full-time table mandem. United have always generated enough money to be run successfully. It's the Glazers' debt. Can't happen anymore. The rules have changed. Other club get sugar daddy, and we got sugar ponces. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm starting to feel sorry for the poor tripod already. Augusto says the board should have given Ruben a year and a window, maybe a midfielder. This channel, Stretford Paddock and the United Forever are the best channels in my opinion. Look, James, mate, look, James, the fact that you hold this channel up in the same esteem as those channels, James, it means that this channel and this community has done something right. James, look, the biggest compliment comes from you guys, and if you guys put us up there with those sorts of channels, we must be doing something right. If you were to get rid of any players, who would they be, and who would you like their replacements to be? I'd get rid of Dalot. I'd get rid of Luke Shaw. I'd get rid of Maguire. I'd get rid of Casemiro. I'd get rid of Bruno Fernandes. I'd get rid of Mason Mount. And I would bring in look. I off the top of my head, I will give you the positions. I think we need a right back, a right wing back. We need another centre back, possibly 2. We need a defensive midfielder type. So whether we need an Anderson who's an all-round type. Maybe you get a Stiller as well. We need another striker. They were talking yesterday. Ali McCoy yesterday was talking about Harry Kane. I mean, fucking hell, no. So we need to go get a striker. We probably need to go get a winger as well. as if we're going to play a 4-4-2, a 4-3, a 4-3-3. We need an Anderson. We're not going to get them. So I bring in a Neves, a Gallagher, a Gomez, and a Gume, and Edison. I think we need a right or left back who can play the both sides. I think that's imperative. Centre back, 2 midfielders, possibly 3, and I would probably go Edison. You go Edison, Gume, Kone, Kone from Roma as well could be in there. Gomez from Wolves. My opinion, not others' opinion. We have a great community, and we don't talk about insertion of cucumbers. I love it. It says getting in the Champions League is imperative for the finances. When everyone ridiculed Arsene Wenger for go to top 4 each season, he was trying to avoid the mess United. Now look, but then my only observation on that is this, right? I get it, and again I do respect the opinion on it, but you're saying that Wenger was trying to get into the top 4 every season. What's Fergie doing then? What's the difference in Arsene Wenger getting into the top 4, trying to get into the top 4? Well, what did we do? Like, Ferguson got into the top 4 as well, by the way. Like people have this illusion that United used to spend like absolute like trillions of pounds, right? Once the Glazers took over this club, the purse strings were totally purse strings were completely cut, right? So yeah. So look, guys, fantastic show. Guys, I am going to have to go back to work. I can't really do much. So look, I'm going to be. Look, thank you so much for being here. You guys are legends of this channel. Fantastic show today. I will try and be back tonight. Obviously, if anything does break, I don't really care, but I will come back. Obviously, if Ole Carrick is announced, and I will be back for that. So look, guys, you guys are legends. I really thank you for the support. This community gets better and better and better every single game. You guys are legends, and I will try to be back tonight. I will come on if anything does happen. So look, guys, thank you for supporting the channel. Look, have an amazing rest of your morning, afternoon, even wherever you are in the world. I'm JB. This is the United Devil channel, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care.